All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on back to the Cinema Lords podcast, and welcome on back to another Rings of Power episode recap. Going to be doing episode 5 tonight, which is, let's see here, Hall of Stones. This was a good episode. I like this one. Before we start diving into it, though, again this week, joined by Luke, basically the only person who's willing to put in the work anymore and actually watch the shows.
I know. I don't know why it's such a struggle. I feel like it's like a show worth putting some time in and watching. It's
I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
Especially if you are like a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah, and I mean it's always a little bit of prep to get ready for the show, but I get way more out of it when I'm trying to be analytical and ready to talk about it, and so
gives you a new perspective or an extra perspective.
Yeah, makes me just like the show that much more. And there's a lot to dig into with all the Lord of the Rings stuff. So
a lot of that this week.
And I agree, it was a better one this time around. Feel like even though we got a lot of Numenor, which we've been kind of hating on, that they kind of are finding their identities a little bit more, and that story took a few good steps forward.
I would agree with that.
And some more cool stuff with Celebrimbor and Anatar / Sauron, and lots of good stuff to get into, and I think it's taken the season in a good direction.
Yeah, only 3 episodes left, which is almost kind of disappointing. Hopefully we see some shit pop off.
Yeah, going quick.
A couple things I want to talk about at the end of the episode I hope I don't forget about. But altogether, like I said, I liked this episode. But yeah, I couldn't believe fucking like Seth hasn't been watching it. Ledoux hasn't been watching it. It's crazy.
They're not even keeping up with it?
No. I talked to Ledoux yesterday. He was like, I haven't seen any of the episodes. He was like, I'm at the Patriots game too, so I don't think I'll be able to get to watch them. I was like, Jesus Christ, Ledoux.
He's going to lose his title here.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. About to just name you my official co-host.
Yeah. The aficionado of all things.
Yeah, for real. So like I said, Halls of Stones, the name of the episode, and we're gonna open up with King Durin, and he has got his new ring on. So we know that these 7 rings that they were trying to make came out successfully, or it seems like they came out successfully. He's popping one on, but that's it. We just see the other 6 basically just chilling on a pillow.
Yeah, but kind of calling to him maybe too. It's like get that first kind of creepy voice calling to him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that they're kind of tapping into the stuff we remember from the One Ring. I always thought that was kind of like unique to the One Ring, but
we're gonna find out a little bit of that reasoning for why, which is cool.
Right.
I also just thought it was a little bit like it seems like he's pretty indecisive about who he's gonna give these motherfucking things to. You know what I mean? You would have thought, at least I would have thought right away that his son was gonna get one. Like, all right, bro, you're my son. You're next in line. Here's a ring.
Right. Yeah, I think that they were intended to be for each of the 7 Dwarven kingdoms.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
I'm pretty sure.
For this episode.
But I was trying to do some research on it, and apparently 3 of the 7 Dwarven kingdoms live in Khazad-dûm right now.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the case in the show as well, but that would complicate things a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, didn't know. Just thought like Khazad-dûm was just like home of the dwarves. That was it.
Right.
Didn't realize there was inter-dwarven warfare going on.
Oh yeah, a couple different factions. I think they mostly get along, but one of the other ones is actually like the source of the beef between elves and dwarves.
Oh, no shit.
It's not even the Khazad-dûm guys. It's one of the other clans.
Douchebags.
Yeah.
Let's see. We see that. So like I said, Durin's gonna start going through like these tunnels. They're still trying to find a way to get sunlight into the cave or whatever you want to call it, into Khazad-dûm, to grow these crops.
Yep.
And he's going along the wall with his ring. A voice, kind of like you said, starts calling to him, and he's like, all right, we're gonna fucking crack in right here. And it's Durin, and basically like a stonemason, head of the guild.
Yeah, it's a guy we've seen a couple times, and I think he's the one that makes that door to the west.
Yes, which is cool. I like
entrance.
that scene a lot. Yep. But basically they're like, yo, King, like we can't hit this wall. It's like whatever you want to call it, like a foundation wall. The whole thing will come crumbling down on us. And he's like, dude, if you're not going to hammer, like, I'll fucking do it my goddamn self. And that's exactly what he does. Just fucking starts hammering at it by himself. Turns out he was completely right.
Yeah. That's still kind of a little scary. Doing it like a man possessed, you know?
Yeah.
Remember how scared he was of doing the tiniest bit of
anything.
Mining, for the mithril. So definitely had some changes to his character. Got to assume it's because of the ring in a lot of ways. But
a whole new guy.
And pretty instant, too. I thought the dwarves were supposed to be a little bit more resilient too.
Clearly not.
But yeah, it could be because these rings are broken in some other way. But
that could be true. Yeah. That could be true. Obviously, we know Khazad-dûm's going to fall, so there's going to have to be a reasoning for why at some point.
Right.
I have to imagine, broken rings. That'll do it. Let's see. So like I was saying, Durin and the stonemason, they kind of say, fuck you, and the king was fucking right on the head. So he starts going along all the walls, fucking hammer here, hammer here, hammer here. Sure enough, right all the time. So we got our sunlight back. Khazad-dûm set the roll.
Yeah. Yep. Seems good. Looks like everybody's happy about it except for Disa.
Yeah, we see that. And her little other mountain singer there.
Right. So, obviously they'd be mad that their technology is kind of getting outdated right now, so that could be all it is, but it seems like they're more have like a bad feeling about what it means.
Outdated is a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah, they're old tech now.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
These computers are coming in here and ruin everything.
Yep, we don't need calculators and spreadsheets anymore. We got Excel. We'll just do it.
That's a good way to put it. We see. Oh, this part was interesting. Celebrimbor is meeting with a bunch of like the dwarfs, but it's like just the stonemasons, like just the smiths and shit.
Yeah, it seems like they just. It took me a while to figure this out, kind of, but it seems like that main mason guy and Celebrimbor teamed up to make that door, and so that's why it like symbolized the friendship between the dwarves and the elves.
Okay.
And why it's a dwarven door written in Elvish, and the password is the Elvish word friend, right? Because that's the same door that Gandalf and all them get through later, and that's big in the Hobbit too, with the moonlight striking the door and everything on that certain moon.
Yep. Can only see it under the night of the moon.
Yeah, but so it seems like that's the symbol of their friendship, and also a really impressive like magical / like smithing achievement.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. That was a very cool little Easter egg, I thought. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, really
it wasn't too much, but a nice little sprinkle.
Yep.
That makes sense, though, because at first I was like, are these like the other dwarfs that are supposed to be getting these rings? I was just confused. I was like, why are you making that call? The rings aren't there. I was just very confused at first.
Right. I thought they were having a celebratory thing about the rings, but it was about
Turned
the door.
Out that's what was happening.
It was about the door. But
so they are celebrating a little bit, except for Sauron, or whatever you guys want to call him at this point. Halbrand, Anatar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But right away, like, not a single moment to celebrate. He's just like, yo, we got to get to work on these other rings. We got to get them for the humans, so the men, whatever you want to call them. And Celebrimbor's like, fuck that. Men are weak, which God knows he's right. Sauron says we'll pick them ourselves. Celebrimbor's still like, no. And then he says, all right, fine, I'll do it my fucking self then.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see Celebrimbor actually calling out Sauron for being manipulative. He's like, "Is this a game you play?
That's
you
true.
You just plant these ideas in people's heads," and they're like using all these terms that they've already used these exact words to describe what Sauron's like, but it still doesn't click with him.
Yeah.
He hasn't had that thought. He has these thoughts that something's not right. This guy might not have good intentions, but never takes it from A to B with.
And he's finally having the success he's always wanted, so he's definitely putting blinders on a little bit extra.
Yep. That's why he wrote that letter in the first place.
Exactly.
Seeking glory. And
he's been here for so many fucking years now, hundreds of years.
Yep. Which was just a long play manipulation by Sauron getting him to write that letter.
Right.
And I thought that was cool how it all comes back around and everything.
Right. He makes those dwarf rings fucked up, literally just like in a perfect little fashion.
Yep. But I was impressed that Celebrimbor seems to be resisting the manipulation to this point, and Sauron has to pull out his ace in the hole to actually get Celebrimbor back on board at the end. But
yeah, it seems like he's going to do it the old-fashioned way with a little bit of flirting, a little bit of bat in his eyes, puppy dog face.
Yep.
Let's see. To Numenor. Parazon's in charge now. He's got his cool little what is it? Troy? Is it Troy? The guy holds the fucking little thing, and that's like representing of the whole city and shit like that.
That sounds familiar. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Troy, but that's what. I'm almost positive. But he's the king now, and like I said, he's got one of these little tiny little staff things to show he's in charge. But he kind of like isn't happy by it. One of those things where like you finally get what you want, but now it's not exactly what it thought it was. Or...
Yeah, immediately greedy for more and resentful of the elves, right? He's looking out at that place they're not allowed to go, and it's like every sunset's a reminder of how we're immortal and they're not. And yeah, so he's immediately just getting sour and almost like he has a ring. Like his character's changing because he seemed kind of evil, but.
Yeah, he always seemed kind of evil.
Even his son's confused. Like, now we can do everything we've talked about forever.
Yeah,
and he's like, no, that's not enough. We need to do more.
That's true.
It's strange.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting played somehow.
Maybe through the Palantir. We see him look at it later.
There you go. There it is.
I don't know.
There it is. His son fucking is just a douche, like so much this entire episode.
Seems like Kevin or something.
He's
like
just
Kenan.
Yeah.
He's Kenan.
He's just the absolute fucking worst. Basically, he calls out his dad for fucking being a sad boy.
Yeah.
And he just goes like fucking random kill shot for no reason. He's just like, yeah, well, your mother said you're gonna die painfully.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh shit.
Yeah. And then just doesn't explain.
Yeah, he's like, all right, tell me more. No.
Yeah. Like, and clearly there's some sort of tragedy with what happened to his mother. I don't know if we are supposed to know that by now. It might have come up earlier, but
no, I don't. I mean, I feel like that's something
But he's like, Mom, like, Mom said something about me. He's like, yeah, she said you're gonna die or have a tragic death.
You're gonna
ending.
die.
Yeah. And then he's gonna withhold that info until he shows that he's mission trustworthy or whatever. Yeah.
Said he has to go complete a mission.
Yeah.
If he succeeds, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I hope it's just something dumb. Like, oh yeah, she said like the die in battle.
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Really eliminated a whole lot of possibilities. I won't die of a fever. Sick. So we're gonna go to the Queen of Numenor, whose name I can never remember, and
Muriel.
There you go, Muriel and Elendia, and she's basically gonna ask him what he saw when he touched the Palantir, and basically it was different from what she saw. So she's like, all right, this changed the future of shit. So everything that's happening right now is exactly how it's supposed to happen, which I love this kind of thing. I love timelines. Like,
right.
That shit gets me going.
Right.
I don't think I love it in Lord of the Rings. I don't think I want it here, but like that shit outside of that, oh man, that's right up my alley.
Right. Right. She says it's a glimpse into a possible future, and the fact that he saw something different means that something changed recently that is changed that eminent future.
Right. Got to stay on the path.
They're assuming that it's Farazan. I'm wondering if it could be something with a stranger or something, like some other thing in the universe changed. Well, it's kind of short-sighted to assume it's just that one local thing that changed the fate. But
no, I got you.
But yeah, we'll see. I think it's, and then it seems like they're willing to back off and not fight back because it seems like this is for the best.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I just don't care still. I care a little bit of Elendil, but like the queen and her shit, does absolutely nothing for me at all.
That's fair. I feel like it was a step in the right direction, at least now, and that they have, like, the people that they're against being Farazan and Elendil's daughter and Farazan's son.
Bitch, too.
Yeah.
She fucking sucks.
They finally all took a step up, and they're not just annoying people. They're actually like people in power.
Now they're just people I hate.
Yeah, they're full on bad guys in the show. They're fucking with our heroes. Like, so now we can actually hate them for something other than being useless, weird characters.
Yeah, now I really fucking hate them.
Right.
Let's see. Followers of the Queen are being stripped of rank. This was a good scene. A bunch of the Queen's followers, they are being stripped of their rank. And that fucking twat boy of Farazan's is at like the head of the helm, of course.
Yeah.
And Elendil's like, all right, fuck you. Like, here you go. Here's my shit. I'm not going to play your games. Oh, actually, right before that is when he talked to his daughter, right?
Yeah, and she just comes off like a complete bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
And she still seems... It still seems like it all comes back to him not being mad enough about Isildur dying, right? She thought
I think so. Why? Even more so.
Yeah, why he was thrown into danger in the first place.
Right.
And, yeah.
Let's also not forget that he signed up to go.
Right. And so she's still just really pissed about that, and to the point of going directly against her father. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, he wasn't taking that shit though. He was like, "Yo, I don't know what it was, but something about seawater, like the ground you're standing on." And I was just like, "Oh, word."
Yeah.
She going down, huh? Word.
Yeah. And the Rock gives her a burn later too, saying it's obvious what side you're on now.
Oh yeah. That's right. I love the Rock. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I was very sad to see how this episode ended for him.
Yeah, no.
Very, very disappointed.
Yeah.
But that girl was like fucking. She was almost giving him like a. You've been my friend for so long. Like, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
I know.
Fuck you, bitch.
Right? Like, you're betraying me to my face. Like, come on.
You're the head of this betrayal, too.
Yeah.
You're the reason why this is happening. Actually, he said that. Elendil, he goes, why is it, like, who's responsible for this? And she's like, I am.
Right. So she's in a position of power now. And
bitch.
yeah. Very weird.
Especially when you know that your dad and one of your oldest friends are both on that side.
Yeah.
Bitch. But anyway, the Elendio guy, he's handing in his like sword or whatever you want to do, and he's like, all right, I'm done here. And as he's walking out, he goes, Captain is leaving deck, as if like they're still on the boat and shit like that. And all the soldiers around him are like, oh yeah, fucking stand in line or whatever. Farazan's son, being a cunt that he is, yo, he ain't that guy no more. And then Elendo goes back and he's like, you're right, but watch this. It's going to happen anyway because unlike you, they just love me. They just fear you because you're a dickhead. But they all just kind of start calling out to him like, best of luck. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. You're the best.
Yep.
Good scene.
Very good scene. Yep. And yeah, just good to see that there is some loyalty left. I don't know if it's what value is in it for them, if they're all just being stripped of rank and it's all the people that
there was a good amount of people. Yeah, there were a good amount of people. There were a good amount of guys there.
Yep.
Not everyone's a turncoat.
Yep. But yeah, we'll see if we get some sort of rebellion going. Seems like the new rule is pretty strict and strong right hand.
Yeah, they're going to have to get out of Dodge, I would imagine, at some point.
Yeah.
Regain strength. Figure out what to go from there. Because fucking Numenor is like a kind of a bigger place than I feel like they've shown in the show. Like in the show, it's only been that one city.
Right.
But the island itself, I think, is pretty big.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, let's see. That was a good scene, like I said. Oh, at the very end of it, though, we actually kind of already hinted at Farazan getting the Palantir, but we see it to end the scene.
Right.
He's like about to go grab it, but he looks like it's not the first time. Like he uncovers that thing and he's about to hop back in.
Right.
So that's a good call for earlier in the episode when he's like talking to his son and he's all fucking like, what's going on?
Yeah. It seemed like, even though, like
not
I said,
what's going on, but this isn't what I want.
Right. I want way more than all the stuff we've talked about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And yeah, this seems to reflect exactly what's happening to everybody that's put the rings on. So we'll see. It would be an easy way for Sauron to get through to him.
Yeah, I mean, he already did it with the queen, basically. He was like, this is what you're going to see, and that's why she went across the sea to aid them, and obviously, look, everything went Halbrand or Sauron's way that whole time.
True. Yeah, very true.
He was definitely the one, I would have to imagine, planting those visions in the ball, or whatever you want to call it, too.
Mm.
The High King, Gil-galad, receives the letter from Celebrimbor, basically containing the lies that we already saw, the forge was being closed. One of the High King's advisors pushes for the elves to sail for Mordor, and he gets one of his own visions, and she basically just kind of calls him out, like, how are we going to decide this?
Right.
Which we're going to find out later. He chose the ring. He said, fuck you going to Mordor. No.
Mm-hmm.
So people are putting heavy faith in these rings.
Yeah, I think they're feeling desperate, like they're down to their last hope kind of thing and willing to do some risky shit.
Yeah, no, I guess that's true.
But,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
But obviously also getting their brains twisted and their wills bent.
I guess this Palantir, I don't know. I feel like the Palantir has to play like a bigger role. I'm just not sure how.
I'm not sure either because they're changing the rules on the Palantirs. That's in the books it was more like a way to communicate, like all the Palantirs could like look into see what the other Palantirs were seeing and stuff.
Saruman does that, I feel like.
Yeah. But I don't think they were really supposed to have like prophetic powers. But obviously they've been establishing that from season 1 in this, so that's what they're rolling with.
Yeah, it seems like Sauron can almost like show anything what they want to see through these things, like they're his creation or some shit like that. Which that would be cool if he was the one that fucking created these goddamn things. I'm all like I said, I don't know if I'm in for the time jumping shit, not time jumping shit, but the how does time work? Do we start here? Where's the timeline start and end in Lord of the Rings? But I do love that shit.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do multiverse. I don't mind I don't mind the glimpse into the possible futures, and then you change it up. That's pretty basic.
It's funny you say that because Dark is one of my favorite shows, and that's exactly what Dark did on their final season. Did you watch that show?
I got through part of it, but I haven't watched all the way through.
The first 2 seasons are awesome, and then like the third season, like the season 2 ends, and it's just like, but wait, there's more. You know what I mean? It ends up being like a second universe, basically. It's just the 2. It's not like, well, thank God it was only 2 that we know of.
Yeah.
But it was just like, this is too much. This is too much now.
Yeah.
There was plenty to do in this last season without fucking getting crazy. I'm a sucker for that shit, though. Let's see. Oh, back to Khazad-dûm. Disa's going to express hesitancy about the king, and him just basically how he found these holes. Like you said, kind of the old technology versus the new technology. She's pissed that her shit's been outdated. I liked that. Good reference.
Yep. She feels like they cheated to get the results, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Took a shortcut that they're going to get burned for. And that the ring seems too powerful.
Yeah, and that's just one of them. I don't know if she must know that there's 6 of them.
Yeah, I think she does.
Yeah, she has to. Just because Durin, she was talking to Celebrimbor and shit too.
That was definitely the biggest, flashiest ring out of all of them. I don't know if that one...
That blue diamond one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Has some special power.
Little extra?
Too, yeah.
Little extra. That wouldn't surprise me. I want to know, like, I'm very curious. Like, we know Elrond's going to get a ring. Like, that's just... We know that's going to happen. And then he's going to wear one for, like, 1,000 years and the whole time be like, these rings stink.
Yeah.
Like, bro, bro.
Yeah.
But I want to know where, like... I don't know. I guess I want to know where all these things ended up.
Yeah.
There's, like, so many rings that are, like, just... Where do they go?
Right.
Except for, like, the 9 men. Obviously, I feel like theirs are... The Wraiths, obviously. But, like, I'm assuming they still have them.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure there is some lore that could explain that stuff. I think, if I remember, I feel like some of them are supposedly like lost to time, like the One Ring was for a long time. You know, it's just lost track of some of them.
It's weird that it's like. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's weird that it's like only the dwarf rings. Like we know where the elvish rings are, and then the man rings, like I said, are the ring wraiths.
Yep, and it's gonna go to the 9 realms of men or whatever. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It sounds like they had that pre-meeting this episode, so maybe all the other doors will show up next one.
Belrog.
Yeah, Balrog too.
Fucking ate him.
Yeah. We got some other sort of beastie down in the depths.
So you don't think this... Actually, yeah, that's where we are right now. You don't think that's... Oh, actually, that's not right now, but it's coming up. Actually, no, it is right now. Yeah. They're shopping in the little thing or whatever. They buy that ball.
Yep. Which there's 100% tax on stuff now.
Oh yes, another thing by the king.
Yeah, like for every coin spent, another one goes to the crown. It's like 100% tax.
Yeah, the first sign that we got of him being greedy.
Yep.
Which is different.
And they call it like the ring tax. Like it goes to the ring, not to like the realm or something.
Does it say that?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think they call it a ring tax.
Oh fuck. See, for me, I just assumed it was the crown. Like. I think that's probably the Game of Thrones in me.
Right.
But
yeah, I can't say
that's a good. Sure, now I'm very curious about that.
I'm pretty sure
that'd be interesting.
Yep.
Because I think even Durin says who came up with that or who's man. Now I gotta go back and rewatch that scene. Both the first 2 times wasn't enough apparently.
Yep.
But like we said, the king is getting basically $1 for every $1 spent. So they buy this ball, this circular gift, which looks like a Palantir, but it's not a Palantir.
Right.
And as soon as she gets it, the second she gets it, drops it and it just rolls away. Right. Now, it rolls away into this cave, and like the cave just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. She follows the ball all the way down. But I said it to Holly while watching this, I was just like, how does like no one know that this cave is like here? Like, they were just in the shopping center. The cave is here, and you followed it the one fucking way down to this ball and near this water.
I know. I thought the same thing. It was weird.
Huh?
Like, maybe it took her, like, 1 minute. They made it only take, like, 10 seconds for her to get there, but...
I guess.
I don't know. They didn't make it seem like it was, like, an
hour.
No
turns, because there's no, like, her guessing which way.
Yeah. And, yeah, very strange. Which made me think maybe it could be, like, a vision or something instead of reality, or... I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know. She did pick up the ball, right? The sphere, which
that ball looked just like a Palantir.
It did. Like, same size and stuff too, not just a sphere. Yeah.
Same kind of glowy looking shit too.
Right. Yeah, very strange. And then no one wants to listen to her. She's like the wife of the prince, and everybody's like, "Shut up."
True, and obviously her word was pretty high regarded for a while now as one of those mountain singers.
Yeah, very weird.
Kind of the head of the mountain singers.
Yeah.
But she finally finds that ball, and it's like right next to a little, I don't even know if you want to call it a lake, a pond.
Right.
And she lets out a quick little sing. Nothing seems to happen, and then all of a sudden the water starts like fucking ruffling and shit like that, and something's under there.
Yeah, scary. I don't know if it seemed like something was actually in the water, right? It wasn't just like
vibration
definitely of the whole cave or something from underneath, or no. something was in the
I
water.
thought there was something in there.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. Maybe it was just like shaking the whole foundation from underneath.
I'm just wondering. I was trying to think of a way for it to be the Balrog, but
Yeah, no, that's true because the Balrog ain't hanging out in no lakes,
Right.
ponds, water, etc.
right. But I don't know.
Pools.
It could be just another beastie.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
How many fucking beasts live down here?
I know.
But that could be the thing too. If they just keep digging farther and farther down, you're just like getting into the depths of the earth. Like who knows what lives down there? It's like the bottom of the ocean.
Right. Yeah, it could be some other path to that cave from an ocean or something.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. A water Balrog.
Yeah. That's scary.
That would be terrifying. You're right. I do want to see that Balrog again. Though. Like still, like that's how we talked about it last week. Like you gonna tease that at the end of the first season. Like that was pretty much the closing moment. I feel like, and still haven't gotten like a full blown hint of it. Like you said, this could not have been that.
Right.
This easily could have been something else. I don't hate the idea that it was below them and just like did whatever and it shook all the rock foundation upward. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's the only way it could be, but it kind of seemed like it was like a rush of the vibrations that came from the back and came towards her, right? It wasn't just like everything started to boil. It was like
Popped.
it like was a wave that came towards her, but I don't know.
It was
I haven't looked into any theories on what it could be, but
a lot of small things like that. Actually, I feel like wasn't dissimilar from when the old elf was on the boat getting ready to toss the 3 rings into the beastie's mouth. Also in water.
yeah, that's a good call. I didn't think of that at all.
Just thought of it now.
Nice. Wait, till I go back and compare. Yeah, that's a good call.
That's interesting. That's something because I feel like that's like kind of this like he's just chilling on the boat and then all of a sudden just like poof,
Yeah.
I got a fucking little whale blow. Ooh, now I'm intrigued. I like
Yeah.
this a lot.
Yeah. And we saw Sauron manipulate that warg earlier. So
Yep.
he manipulates like animals. And there's some theories that maybe he was manipulating that like huge whale sea creature thing that attacked
Oh,
them earlier.
definitely, because that thing just like swam off in the other direction.
Right,
And
so-
then you hear it, especially in the subtitles, it said like whelp or something like that, yelping. So it was like that's a sound of like
interesting.
not good pain.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah.
Subtitles are awesome, man.
So who knows how much range he has, but it could be the same beastie coming in through some ocean caverns or something. I don't know.
Have we talked about like the Amazon pause screen?
Yeah,
we did.
the X-ray
Oh,
feature,
it's
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool,
Shows
especially with
everybody on
shows
screen.
like this.
Yep.
It would be awesome, and like Thrones too. Like that would be so sick. HBO app stinks.
Yeah.
Crashes constantly. But yeah, so we get a little. I like that though. Like you said, like a deep entrance, like underneath, because it just keeps going down.
Yeah.
And that's like the same beast that comes up and fucking.
Could be.
I like it.
Or just something controlled by Sauron. Could be some other new beastie, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
I like it though. These are all good. These are all very good. King Durin's gonna summon in all the number 2s, basically all the number 2s from all the 7 kingdoms. And they're like, yo, like, I got a ring of power for every single one of you. He's like, you see how I saved this place? There's sunlight everywhere. He's like, this ring, I'm very powerful. I'll give you guys one. But there's a price to pay. And we don't find out here, but we're going to find out shortly that he wants half of every mine, basically, from all the kingdoms.
Hefty,
Hefty. Like, what are you even going to do with all that?
right? That's the greed that we see. Like, with everybody who gets the Arkenstone and the Hobbit and stuff, and like, so that's like one of the downfalls of dwarves, I guess. And it doesn't take long for that to kick in for Durin the Third here.
No, for sure not. There was also something interesting that happened that I kind of passed over real quick before he. Oh wait, no, is that this? Yeah. He tells the law thing, right, with the revoking of the law. I think that's here, right? Yeah, he says like to dig deeper, and then the guy that he's giving the order to is just like, "Yo, what do you mean dig deeper? We can't." And he's like, "Who made that rule? You did." He's like, "Scrap it, bad idea."
Yeah.
So he's got like almost a whole different brain in his head right now. He doesn't even remember that, and we're gonna see that happen again actually, where he doesn't remember shit.
Yep,
Actually,
right
that's here
after.
too. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep. And it was a very Bilbo moment. I don't know if you remember that.
When he like jumps out.
Well, that too, but there's a part in the very first movie where he freaks out. He thinks Gandalf took it from him, and he's like, yes, it's in your pocket, bro.
Yes, that's right.
Like,
that's right.
He's like,
that's
oh,
right.
I must have put it there. Like, he even said like it gets so heavy or something like that too.
He did say that. Yes, he said your hand was heavy.
Yep.
Good catch.
Yep. But yeah, he doesn't remember taking it off or where it came off or even saying that until he's reminded. So almost like he's being puppeted or just so lost.
Wouldn't the ring would want it off though, right? I mean, the ring would want it on. I'm sorry.
Right.
You'd imagine.
You would think, yeah. Unless it's trying to find its way to someone else. That's kind of a feature that they've talked about with the One Ring, that it found its way to Bilbo or whatever because it was so stuck in the depths of wherever Gollum was hiding.
Oh, man.
Like it kind of found its way out.
I like that.
Yeah.
This is getting wild.
Yeah.
This is getting wild. I like that. I'm starting to come along. I'm starting to change my mind about this time thing. I'm starting to come around, I think, a little bit.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for it.
I'm not to get crazy. I'm not too protective of the lore and stuff. I don't know it that well where I
don't
feel
know
like it has to go a certain way.
I did buy the Fellowship of the Ring this week, though.
Let's go.
I did buy the Fellowship of the Ring.
I bet you'll tear through it as soon as you start.
Yeah, I think so. Not too long either. I saw like 400 pages, and I was like, this is doable. That conversation last week on here, I was like, this is not what I expected. I was expecting like 3 more fucking Thrones books, and I was like, I don't have that commitment in me right now.
Yeah, no, it's doable, and not like really hard speech or anything. Like all very relatable stuff.
It's true.
There's also an awesome audiobook that Andy Serkis does.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
He's always doing shit, I feel like. He's like always working on something. And it's not always like he's acting or directing or
he's great.
Reading, apparently.
Yep, we loved him in Andor.
Oh, he was really good in Andor.
Yep.
That's right. That show, second season of that show is coming.
Ow.
If the second season of that show is anything like the first season, I'm going to fucking sleep through it. Sleep through it.
I thought it was so good. But it's all right.
It was like wicked well made. Like I want those guys to make a Star Wars project.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be dope. It'll be awesome, and I'd love it. Let's see here. Oh, I liked this line too. He tells Durin that Disa can only hear the mountain, but he can see it. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I don't think it's here, but maybe later he clarifies that he can see every single gem and stone in the whole thing, and we've been sitting on a gold mine
for all this time.
Yep, and like we didn't even know. Like we've only scratched the surface of this gold mine.
Now,
so like he just is one with the earth somehow. I don't know.
I'm thinking if he's like giving all these orders to dig deeper, and then everyone's digging deeper, and he's taking half of everything from everybody, basically. He's just creating a huge lump sum. So if Sauron still like manipulated these rings, he's just gonna show up one day and just be like, "Well, this is all mine. Thanks a lot."
Yeah, true.
And can pretty much just like bring that place down on its head,
yeah.
Or just open up the fucking doors for the Balrog and just be like, "Yo, like,
I think
take
that
care
is
of this
happened.
for me."
Yeah, but actually, I'm just kind of remembering this now. But in Lord of the Rings, when they find that room where like Durin died with the book and stuff.
Yes, yes.
They read from the book and it says like drums from the deep, like we've awakened something. So it's a combo of the Balrog and orcs or something.
That's a good.
If they stick to that.
Like, what do
What
did you just say the name of the like skeleton holding the book?
I think it's also Durin.
No shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a. It's kind of weird that both of our dwarves are named Durin, because it's supposed to be
king and prince.
This like ever living like soul, kind of like Dalai Lama kind of thing.
Okay.
Where he's reborn, but instead of being reborn instantly the second the Dalai Lama dies, it's supposed to be like comes back every few generations.
Okay.
And he exhibits all these same exact features and characteristics of the previous one.
I like it.
And if they do that enough, then they are declared the rebirth of Durin. So that's when they become Durin the Third or Durin the Fourth. So
that's wild.
So it's kind of weird that there's two of them at once. Kind of goes against that. So that maybe they're just scrapping that. But
that's an interesting idea, though. I don't hate that at all.
Peek into the lore.
There's a lot of cool little fucking lore shit. I feel like I'm gonna really love once I get into it.
Tolkien's the OG lore guy.
So let's see. Yeah, we know what's going on in Khazad-dûm. King's going wild. Disa's against it. Let's see. Oh, this is good. Sauron and the Smiths are attempting to make these new rings. run into a whole bunch of problems.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, I feel like even that might have been intentional. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everything was intentional because all of a sudden they're just like, oh shit, there was this accident without your help, and this girl just happened to turn invisible and go and see like the Wraith world. Like, what a coincidence!
Yeah,
that's exactly what my ring's gonna do, basically.
Yep. And I can also use her terrible experience to manipulate her, and like,
he does.
So yeah, it could have been totally intentional, and also used it to drag Celebrimbor back in.
Yeah, it was maybe just a free bird with one stone.
Yeah, it's
he
just
might
really
have been fucking showing off right there.
Master manipulation.
So he did. He like, Celebrimbor, like, we need you, bro. Like, look at, we can't do this without you. Mm-hmm. They did do, and he like snuck in again too with that fucking like lying about fucking the letter, and that's the deceit.
Right.
Sprinkled into the fucking ring. And he's like, this is your doing.
Yeah.
I didn't write that letter. You did.
Yeah. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Pulls at the heartstrings, pushes all the buttons. So. It's a cool character. And they don't really like let us see how he does it. I guess we sort of saw it with Gladriel at the end of the first season, how he put her through all these like trippy things, but he's impressive.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Effective.
There's always a guy at the head of this. If there's time stuff, there's always a guy at the top.
Yeah.
He's pulling the strings.
King.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone. I thought for sure there was going to be something like that in Thrones too, but it just never got there, of course. But I thought for sure
it definitely will in the book.
Yeah, that's what, if we ever get there. Those books are never going to get finished. Those books they're never going to get finished. He's going to have a contract that nobody else can write on them, and he's going to die.
He says he's almost done.
He's been saying that for like 10,000 years, bro.
Optimism, baby.
You seen Logan Lucky?
Yes.
That like reference still plays, and it's been like 8 or 9 years where like this inmate's literally like, no, we're not like letting the guys out until we get Winds of Winter.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. That's mad funny.
The guy's just like, Winds of Winter hasn't come out yet, and he's like, that's bullshit. Like, yeah. George promised that shit 5 years ago.
That movie's great.
That movie
Channing Tatum.
That movie is really good. Just came to Netflix. Craig. Shout out Netflix. Just came to Netflix.
Nice. That's worth a rewatch.
Yeah, that's a good fucking movie. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now. I might even watch it again now. It's on Netflix though.
Hell yeah.
I got a lot to watch though right now. I have a lot to watch. I almost have like too much. I'm prepping for that back to school draft. So I've been trying to get some of those in. Then on top of that, I have something in October that I'm trying to rewatch a bunch of shit for. And then all at the same time, I'm still trying to sneak in a couple of horror movies like here and there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think you can trust yourself on what you remember from most of the things, but I respect the dedication to the craft that you're actually going back to them all.
Yeah, no, for sure. There were a couple too, like say like last night, because Holly's doing the draft and she wanted to like just catch up or see some more things. And we happened to get on the topic of of Whiplash, and I was like, she had never seen it. I was just like, we should definitely watch that. I've seen it like fucking 12 or 15 times.
It's pretty short, too, right?
It's not too long.
95 or
something. Something like that. But I fucking love that movie.
That is a good one. I didn't watch it until recently, and I'd heard you pump it up a few times, and it lived up to it for sure.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, really good.
2 awesome performances from both them, J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller.
Very good, yeah.
But anyway, like I was saying, making the new rings, 3 birds, 1 stone. Got Celebrimbor back. Fucking got this girl to flirt with, basically. And then found out that the rings work the way he wants them to. He wants to be able to fucking do whatever. Turn invisible, see the Wraith world, I guess.
Yeah.
Is he like trying to build this Wraith world? Does he already know it exists and he's trying to use it? That's another thing I'm kind of interested in. Like, has he been there? Or, like, he says he's been there already. But like, how?
It's a tricky one. We can't really rely on the lore for that one either, because there's like some other loophole that certain elves who have been to the certain place are supposed to be able to see both realms. And Celebrimbor is one of them who's done that. So that we can't really look to the lore to figure out what's going on there. They're definitely changing up some of the rules.
Yeah, they always do. I don't hate that though. If he like traveled fucking some great distance or some shit like that, so he could do it, and now he's back to like use it.
Right.
I don't hate that.
Yep. It could be it's the realm of that the gods see or whatever. He said it shows you pure your pure intentions and stuff, right? So
there you go.
Maybe that's the black and white world that the Valar see.
Death, destruction, bad.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I think that might have been his plan. Maybe he knew how to make one of those rings already, and so he just did that to win over the girl and manipulate Celebrimbor.
Just doing a little bit of experimenting. And he like fucking... You could tell too. He's just standing there watching it all happen. He's like, "This is good.
Yep.
This is very nice."
Yep. And then he suggests that it could be, that it's most likely Celebrimbor is that evil spirit that she saw. Right. That was the evil in the room with you.
Oh, right. Trying to find like an outlet, trying to put the target on somebody else.
Yep.
Actually, that's too because that's when Celebrimbor joins back in, and like after he walks away, he like plays good cop. He's like, all right, like I know he's asking from so much from us, and it seems impossible, but it's just because he believes in us, and like we're gonna get it done, gang.
Yeah,
and it's just like you manipulative fuck.
Yeah, and he has some sort of a veil too, where even when people see that he's being manipulative, they still go along with it.
Yeah, his fucking ability to just deceive. Not even lie, but deceive.
Yeah.
And then like we kind of hit, he just kind of gives batty eyes to the girl before he passes out, like moves her hair and like says she looks like Galadriel, which I'm not entirely sure. Is like that's supposed to be because she's an elf too? Like, oh my god, Galadriel.
So there definitely is some significance given to Galadriel's hair in like Lord of the Rings and stuff. That's what Gimli asks for as a gift when they leave Lothlorien, the woods there. He's like, I just want a piece of your hair, and she gives him 3, and he's just like blown away. He's like, oh, I can't even believe what just happened.
No shit.
And there's another story before that where she denies an elf who requests like a strand of her hair. And she says no. And so, I don't really know what sort of power it is, but she's known for just being incredibly beautiful, and her hair is the most magnificent part about her.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was, even though it seemed kind of weird, like, hey, you look a lot like this girl I used to hang out with. It's not just some girl you used to hang out with. It's the girl with the most beautiful hair of all time.
Yeah, I got you. Means something.
Yep.
We get to, I would imagine, the best scene of the episode. I didn't love it because it kind of broke my heart, but we got Elendil, we got the Rock, and we got I don't know, whatever you got, some followers, and they're gathered at a shrine. They're all praying. And this twat bitch, Pharazon's son, shows up, of course, because he's an asshole, and shuts the whole fucking thing down. And goes up to Elendil and goes, "How do you feel that you have a daughter who's embarrassed by you?" And I was like, "You gotta smack him right there."
Yeah,
like you gotta smack him right there.
Yeah, he's just trying to listen to the queen and not overreact and keep his cool. But,
exactly.
Yeah,
trying to play his role.
Yeah.
One old guy comes over. He's like, "I can't leave without my statue." Elendil commands. That might have been part of the problem. Called him a boy too. Like that ain't helping. This might not be the time for that.
Right.
What's that bees and honey thing with fucking? There's a saying there.
I don't know.
Something like that. You'll learn with bees. I don't know.
Buzz.
There's something there.
Buzz. Don't call him a boy.
Elendil fucking just like drops it right in front of him like a total fucking prick. And then Elendil finally fucking, that was enough. Not the embarrassed daughter thing, but this was enough. Just clocks the fucking dude.
Yeah.
And 2 soldiers grab him, and then Pharazon's son again, like a little bitch, like hold him for me. He's like gonna go punch him. And here comes the Rock. Fucking Rock comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
Hair flowing.
Tag him in.
Yeah, tag him in.
It was like full out like wrestling thing.
It really was.
Right as he's about to.
Yeah. Like, it really was.
Grab his arm.
The throw too after in a second too.
Yeah.
Fucking very wrestling.
Yeah.
But it was cool when the fucking guy is just like, "You don't fucking pray," and he's just like, "Yo, forgive me."
Yeah.
And he just
that was
tosses him across the thing. Well, fucking at first I was like, "What the hell?" The guy got like rolled over and was like about to get drowned to death. I was like, "Yo, this is not how I expected this going. Like this little twerp is gonna fucking drown you to death." I was like, "No fucking way."
Yeah.
But then obviously things changed real quick. Did you see like when he got up too? He was just like he made like a fucking move.
Yeah.
Fucking reminded me of like Dothraki. I was just like, "Oh shit, you fucked now, dude."
Yeah, he was pissed, and then it's like ripped his shoulder out,
snapped his arm. Snapped his arm. So fucking. I think it was as he was like shutting the thing. He was just came in and shut the shrine down, And I started smirking. I looked over at her. I was like, I fucking wish this show was Game of Thrones sometimes. And she's like, why do you say that? I was like, because this fucking guy should be raped and killed.
Yeah.
She's just like, whoa. Yeah. She's like, that's way too far. I was like, it's way too far here. There, it's okay.
Can we throw him in the black cells for a season or two, please? Cut off his dick.
So then
Rip out his fingernails.
So then he drops the statue, and I'm just looking over, and I'm like, yo, see, like, I told you so. Like, he needs to get. Like,
he needs a Theon treatment ASAP.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And then he's about to drown the Rock, obviously, like we said. And fucking the Rock comes up, beats the shit out of him, snaps his arm, which was kind of violent for Lord of the Rings a little bit. I was like, oh shit, like big time snap. Yep. Which in that episode I did by myself, I said I thought the show was like a little bit more like violent than like I feel like Lord of the Rings was.
Yeah, I agree.
Not so much like more blood or anything like that, but like the actual way things happen, I feel like is more violent than they do in
I agree. A little more. I mean, they have actual human blood in this one. It was like only orc blood.
That's true.
And and then also just up the power of the orcs a little bit in this too. They're a little bit more beastly rather than like humanoid.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. I thought of that especially, what was that, last season when, was it Arondir? Arondir's like, yeah, it was him. They're like pulling him through the fucking camp right after they capture him.
Yeah.
And they look like fucking hounds ready to pounce on him.
Yep.
So I definitely do feel like they are more, I don't even know, animalistic.
Like savage.
Yeah, savage.
Animalistic. Yeah.
But fucking snaps his arm, and then he's about to stab him, and Elendil's like, nah, dude, like, it ain't worth it, don't do it. And the Rock, loyal man, he's like, all right, Cap. And fucking as he's about to walk away, dude stabs him in the back. And I just look at her again, I'm like, this man, he needs to go, but before he needs to go, he needs to suffer.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, yeah, no, he deserves pain, but I still don't know about rape. And I was like, come on, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. Can we like nail him to a wall or something? Come on, something. But no, he seems like he's gonna stick around for a while.
Fucking ridiculous. I was pissed. I liked The Rock. I liked The Rock a lot. You know what else I marked down from this episode? Oh, not this episode, but from this scene. Is after he stabs The Rock, Elendil like catch The Rock, and they're all like that sad, fucking, oh, you're dead thing. And you see him, and he like cleans off his sword by literally like putting it in the water and like washing the blood off. I'm like, bro, have you ever had blood on your sword in your life or watched any movie? I know you guys don't have movies, but you just like fucking you just take that shit and you just make it all cool. Like he's like fucking washing it off with a little face cloth and got a little thing of soap, pulls it out.
Very, very dainty.
Yeah. I was just like, bro, like what the fuck? Actually, you've been here before.
Yeah, very weird.
Which obviously he hasn't been here before.
Yeah, it was strange because it almost seemed like he was honoring the holiness of the place. Maybe like the water was. The holy water of that area was clean the blade or something. But it was right after he just disrespected all of it. So.
Yeah, that's definitely different. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it seems like. It was like a holy place
to
pray.
They said it was a shrine and shit.
Yeah, and then they're going to turn it into an aqueduct. That's what they came down there to say.
So it's definitely on the water. Yeah. And the old guy right at the beginning said that this was like the oldest or one of the oldest shrines like in Numenor and something like that. So it's probably old, right on the water.
And I'm pretty sure that they are like worshiping the Valar, like, which are the real gods. So like they are correct about what they're worshiping. It's not like the crazy religious people. They're worshiping the creators of Middle Earth and all that. The correct ones. Yeah.
At one point in the episode, Elendil said he was like losing faith, but then the queen was the one that fucking made him find it again. Just like, yeah. Sometimes you got to make your way back to God.
Yeah. I found Christ.
Like Mace, man. You left the game. You left the game for faith. Yeah. Celebrimbor and Sauron, they have a little tiff going about basically the malfunctioning of these rings. Because Durin came and he was like, yo, like these things are fucked up. Which I kind of skipped over that. But Durin comes, he's like, yo, my dad's ring is fucked.
Yep.
And Celebrimbor's like, so can't be us. But then he has the same kind of, not same thought, but Durin's like, how much do you know about this fucking Anatar guy? And Celebrimbor's like, actually not a bad call. Now that you say that,
I can't stop thinking about how sketchy and manipulative he is. Actually, now mention it. Yeah.
No shit.
Even though I still listen to him in between all of my concerns,
it still does.
Now that you mention it, that's all I think about.
So that obviously like kind of changes bit a little bit. And this is when we find out that, not found out, but Sauron's gonna sprinkle again, like, hey, like this ring was made with corruption. And he's like, we got to either power through or we got to tell the High King. Which, like, why is that true? Why are those the only two options that we have? I feel like there are other alternatives. Like, we can just shut things down. We can just shut shit down.
His logic to saying that, I think, is he's at least implying that there is actually something wrong with the Dwarven rings.
Right.
And so they, at the end there, when Celebrimbor gives his, like, let's do this speech, they say how the 9 rings are going to have to make up for.
Not so just like, be better, but then also make up for that shit.
Right, so they need to make up for their mistake and correct this, like, unstable power that they just brought into the world. So that's where Sauron was able to convince him. He's like, all right, we either have to go apologize, tell mom and dad that we fucked up, or
that's true.
Or we
can
call a construction company and we can rebuild this wall that we destroyed. And convinced him he's willing to try it, or just so afraid of talking to mom and dad that
for real
that he's willing to give it one more shot. He's like, we're already in pretty deep. Can't get in too much deeper.
We already talked about it, but he's finally got his success that he's obviously treasured his entire life. Like he's been wanting it, he's been working for it, and all of his things have basically failed. Right. And now finally, one hasn't just succeeded, but it's like changing the entire realm. You know? So to shut down the forge, that would have to imagine that would hurt. That'd be painful.
Yeah.
Shot to the heart.
Right. And he was willing to until he realized that there is something wrong with the last batch, and that it's kind of, at least was convinced that it was partially his fault, even though it definitely seemed like Sauron just enchanted the metal before he dropped it in.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think there's really deceit messing with the magic here, but
for sure. And then just sprinkle that into his brain, though.
Yeah.
Which was just like, again, just kind of like so ridiculous. He's like, we made them in secret. Just like, all right, dude, I don't think that's the reason why these things are fucked. Like Celebrimbor says at one point, he's like, we used the same metals, we used the same tools, we used the same people. Like everything is exactly the same. So there's no way that they came out fucked. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they in fact were.
Yep.
Let's see. Durin's gonna go and try to convince the king to stop using the ring. And then this is I have to imagine again, like the ring manipulated him. He's just like, yo, go be loving to your son because he needs that shit. Mm-hmm. But he said he's proud of him, what every son wants to hear.
Yeah.
And then basically says all because of him, the dwarves are saved, our people are saved, you saved the elves, like you did a lot of good. And then he gives him that, whatever you want to call it, that golden neck collar. That
gives him back his air ship, right? He's now the prince again.
There you go. And then we see him return home to Disa, and Disa's like, "Did you convince him?" And she just sees him wearing the collar, and she's like, "Ah, shit." Mm-hmm. And then she says, "Promise me you'll never wear one of those rings," which he does. But he like, I don't know. I had a hard time.
It seemed like he meant it.
Did he?
But
I had a little in my. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough because I mean, how against it was his father? Like everything, he was so against everything. And then as soon as he sees the ring, he's like, "Fuck yeah!" You know, like it just took him a second.
Out to him right away. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, we'll see if there's definitely gonna be some other temptations. Actually, I'm just thinking of this right now. But that like head miner guy that works with during the third, when they were doing that speech with after they just built the door to the west entrance and all that. Someone mentioned that he's got like sticky fingers.
Oh yeah.
Like, watch out for him. He steals stuff. Could he like maybe grab one of those rings? Maybe he's the one that's closest to all of them. I know they.
Oh shit.
He's like, did you take my ring? You know, that was an earlier scene. He's like, did you fucking take that? He's like, no, you put it down right there.
That's a good call.
But yeah, either that reputation is gonna burn him and he's gonna get blamed for it, or he might actually get overly tempted. Because that's another thing is that it's. These rings are not supposed to be inherently evil, but that they amplify your small evils inside of you.
I got you. Yeah.
So like if you're a little bit
the seeds, give them some water and some loving.
Yeah, like if you're a little bit of a guy who steals little stuff, then you're gonna be like, it's just gonna make you like the biggest thief ever. Or if you kind of do this or that, it makes you.
Bro, you're stealing a lot if you have a reputation like that. Like the elves got you in, and they're like, "Hey, this guy steals shit."
Yep.
That's like Even they like laughed at it too. They're like, he does steal shit.
Yeah, not bad.
Let's see.
Yeah, so we'll see. I feel like they intentionally put that in there. That was kind of blatant. I think that's at least whether he steals it or not. He's getting blamed for it. Or
have it in your mind or some shit.
Yeah,
I like that. No, that's a good catch. I liked the heavy thing too because he does the same thing.
Right, and that's Frodo's like go-to line in the Return of the King. Like, it's so heavy, Sam.
It's weighing him down all the time and shit.
Yeah, I can't carry this weight any longer.
We close things out with Adar's army. They show up at fucking Eregion, right?
Yep.
Fucking Elrond's the first to arrive, which at one part he was
I wasn't
running.
sure. It looked like Linden for some reason because there was the waterfall. Unless there's a waterfall at Eregion too.
Oh, you know what? No, I think you are right because I think
confused.
that's where the High King is.
Right.
Because they had to send people. I think he said to Eregion.
Okay.
That's right. Because he said Eregion's going to fall if we don't send aid, and they weren't even there. They came here to
these other orcs with Adar are because they're going to try to team up with the elves. It seems like right. At the end.
Which that's like one of my biggest things is that so we see fucking Adar arrive. They fucking pull Galadriel out of her cell or whatever. And we're going to find out in a second that they want to spark up an alliance. But I thought it was funny that she gets out and all the dwarves, even with her unarmed and them being like 1,000 on one, they're all still kind of like, I ain't want none, bro. Like, you good. Just keep it moving. Like, I don't want that smoke.
Yeah. She's a badass.
She is.
And yeah, just went like crazy. Did all of her special moves all at once.
She like
used all her game breakers.
When she pulls something on Adar too, it looks actually like I think it came from her hair. I think
looks
she
like
pulled a fucking thing out of her hair.
Yep.
Just fucking held it to his throat real quick.
Yep.
But then Adar's like, yo, like, I'm here to make peace. Like, we both have the same enemy in fucking Sauron. Like, we ain't all bad. Just because we orcs, like, we good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So right away, my first thought is Uruk-hai. Like, is this alliance going to give birth to those? Because we find out that they're part elf. That's why they also have the ears and shit. So
right.
It's like,
Yeah, very interesting.
Were they like...
Adar calls himself an Uruk in the first season. But Uruk-hai would be the next.
Right, he does call himself an Uruk. You're right. I forgot that he did that.
Yep.
That's right. And I'm thinking that if like they really do go to battle together and say like there's multiple battles or whatever, there's going to be like, all right, we got to bury our dead and kind of shit. If they just stop burying orc with elves, they like literally pull them up from on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, they dig them up.
I know, that's a crazy scene.
So fucking something in the underground, the fucking soil and some shit, and they fucking...
Yeah, like mining for Uruk-hai.
Yeah, for real. That's what they were doing.
Right. Yeah, maybe some sort of rebirth of dead elves or like, I don't know. Because I think that's what orcs are considered to be too. They're like punished elves. They're
okay, right. And then a couple, like I think he says 13 of them were saved by Morgoth. And he was one of the 13.
Yeah, it's adding up.
Now... Is Morgoth and Sauron are different people?
They are. I don't... That's one I should know. I think he's like the main villain of the First Age kind of stuff. But I really don't know. I think he's been defeated by this point.
I want to know what Sauron's fucking doing in the First Age, I guess, then. I want to know what he's doing and chilling.
Yeah, I know he has a few times where he's... Well, maybe he fought Morgoth. I don't know. Well, we'll have to do a little
research,
a little mini, but like intro to the next episode with a little Morgoth tidbit.
There you go. Yeah. That sounds good. I feel like I got a couple of things to research after this week too.
Yeah.
But altogether, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I think like as long as Isildur is not on my screen, I'm gonna tend to like things.
Yeah.
That's really what I came away from this week. Is I was like, I really do not care about Isildur or Arondir. Like, I do not need them in this show.
It's fair. I do like Arondir, but just because he was more of a main character in the first season.
Yeah, too much so.
Has some superpowers, seems like, but
yeah, he does some cool shit, but he does that like fucking once every 3 hours.
Right. Like, oh shit, you can jump 20 feet.
Yeah,
do more of that.
Shoot 75 arrows at one time.
Yep.
But I
didn't have them or the Harfoots this time around.
Harfoots, no stranger.
Which I
didn't like.
I really wanted more Tom Bombadil. I really wanted more development of the stranger. really wanted to know what's going on with this Dark Wizard and his masked desert henchman and all that shit. Like,
that doesn't totally surprise me though, because that was a big episode for them. Like, a lot of shit was popping off.
True.
So they're like, all right, we're gonna leave you with that for another week, and we're gonna show what's going on elsewhere.
Yep.
That shit used to happen in Thrones all the fucking time.
Oh yeah, 4 episodes before you get back to the cliffhanger of episode 2 or whatever.
And fucking the guy that fucking ended up getting the Iron Throne wasn't in a full season of the show. Just wasn't in the season.
Right.
Just wasn't. Not because his character wasn't introduced, just because he wasn't in the whole fucking season.
Nothing major to report.
Still
just walking. Yeah.
Still just sitting here at this tree.
Yeah.
No need to check. That's what I'm saying. Like, not even like a check-in. Like, hey, I learned something cool today. Just like,
nope. Just
don't need you.
Just downloading.
Just
learning everything that ever happened.
But yeah, no, like I said, I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't like super action-y packed, but I thought it was good Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yes. And the sneak peek kind of looked like there's going to be some drama with the Durrance during the 3rd and 4th next time.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
And it looks like Adar is attacking either Eregion or Lyndon. It looked like Eregion, so maybe that means that he is going to team up with Galadriel.
Yeah, he said something like that. He's like, I think he says Eregion will fall and so will Sauron or some shit like that.
Yeah. So, and that would
inside. So
that would make sense that Gil-galad would maybe agree to that, because he's like, we can only fight one of them.
Yeah.
And then if like a minute later, like, hey, one of them wants to help us fight the other one. Like, oh, perfect. That actually works for us.
That's interesting.
But I don't know.
He said that like he thought Sauron could have orchestrated all of it. I have to imagine that.
Yeah, that was funny.
He wanted them to like sail to Mordor because that's what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would attack like basically Adar's army, and they would beat the shit out of each other. And by the time they're done, he'd be like all set.
Right.
So I do think
good call.
that they did actually like read this situation right. I think. I mean, I could maybe this whole thing is a play. Maybe he wanted us to think that.
Right. I was surprised Elrond wasn't more of like, I told you so.
Yeah, for real. It's a good point.
Yeah.
At one point when he was running, I don't know if you noticed. At one point he's running back to Lyndon, and all of a sudden he just like grabs his collar and just rips it, and his cape goes flying. I was just like, bro, like, and he starts like hauling all that fast. I'm like, how heavy was that cloak?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. It's a heavy wool.
At first I was just like, bro, like, what? The wind's getting you?
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh shit! But then I saw that, I was like, oh man, that cloak heavy, bro.
Yeah. But it was pretty funny. Like, Elrond's like, yeah, Galadriel was right. You were right. Like, let's go. And then Gil-galad's like, actually, I think the thing you were saying for the last 3 episodes is right.
Might have been spot
like,
on.
I think Sauron's behind all this.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, I told you that.
Duh.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying.
When Celebrimbor finds out, I can't wait to see his face.
Yeah.
It's going to be so great. Like, they're going to rush in.
Oh,
and they're going to be like, Celebrimbor, no. And he's going to be like, what do you mean? They're like, that's Sauron. He's going to be like,
oh, so obvious. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, the one I called out for deceit and, like, said he was a god and, like, oh, yeah.
Like, of course he is. I'm so stupid. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah. He just has that veil of deceit.
Yeah.
He is the king of deceit.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, I think that's good turn up from the last 2 episodes. I think it was better than both
I did.
3 and 4.
Yeah, I liked it.
And we got some more out of the humans in Numenor.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think it's turning up. I hope we
I feel like we're in a
strong.
good place after 3 episodes. I feel like we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Yep, 3 more, right?
Yeah, 3 more.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, we just had a lot of stuff with the Stranger and the Harfoot, so that's going to be something good. And then obviously Adar just arrived here, and there's going to be some kind of a battle.
Yep.
So
Let's go.
some shit's going to be happening.
Let's go.
You got anything else for this week?
No, I don't think so. We'll do some research on Morgoth and get back to you next week.
Yeah, I feel like they both know him, so there's got to be something there. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight. We will see you guys again next week for episode 6 recap. Hopefully we get something big this week and we have a lot to talk about next week. Luke, thank you as always for coming, joining the show. Awesome job.
Of course, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, good time. Hopefully, I'll probably see you again next week.
Let me know.
Unless something changes, but I'm sure you'll be back.
I'll be ready, baby.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Happy watching.
Thank you.